House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Charlie Rangel of New York is going to release what he's calling the mother of all reforms. But what's really drawing attention right now from Congress and from the Treasury Department is what's known as the alternative minimum tax.
The most glaring inequity that we had out there was the 23 million people who, no fault of their own, that because of inflation have been pushed up into a category that they have an additional tax burden, which we call the alternative minimum tax.
Let's go across the aisle right now and see how the other side feels about what Mr. Rangel's trying to do. Joining me is Republican Congressman Tom Reynolds. He has his own ideas on how to fix the AMT. Congressman from upstate New York. Good of you to join us this evening, sir. Charlie Rangel, thank you, sir. Charlie Rangel, taking aim at the AMT. You've proposed some legislation of your own for a one-year relief from this. How close to what Mr. Rangel is offering up in the way of reform does your proposal go?
Well, first of all, I always say with Charlie, the devil's in the details. He's talking about the mother of all tax reform being a $1 trillion tax increase. And to put that together, he will need votes both in the House, the Senate, and get the president to sign that. And I don't see that going to happen in the short-term future. What we do agree on is that AMT is a problem. I call it the stealth tax, and it will engulf 21 million new Americans if we don't do something about it. Last year, I passed a one-year patch while the Congress talked about trying to do other solutions to make sure these people weren't caught in 21 million new Americans into the tax. This year, I reintroduced the legislation. I have certainly worked as a Ways and Means member and the only Republican from New York to see if we could reach an agreement on a repeal of the AMT. It's a bad tax.
Well, how do you do that, sir?
We're still talking about it.
Well, how do you do that and get rid of that and at the same time not miss that revenue?
Well, first of all, when we look at the one-year patch, it's a $50 billion fix to make sure that 21 million Americans aren't engulfed in this thing. And it needs to be done by November 7th in order to make sure the 1040 forms, which need to be going ahead with the printing of those, are completed. I received a letter from the Secretary, as did other high-ranking Republicans on the Senate Finance and the Ways and Means Committee. But in this, what Charlie wants to do with the $1 trillion cost of repeal is to raise taxes throughout the board. I don't want to reform AMT. I want to repeal it. And to do that, I think we have to simplify the entire tax code versus this piecemeal approach of bringing out wholesale changes where we're going to tax some people and not others. This is a $1 trillion tax.
Would you go to, say, a pay-as-you-go approach then?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to look at what Charlie wants to do. He's talked about it. He's changed a number of things in what he's saying to the public. He's due to bring this bill out on Thursday, Friday of this week. Once we see it, we'll have the devil of the details on a massive approach. But what I do know is with the one-year patch, which the administration supports and the Senate supports, and many of us in the House support, is that we need to get underway and get it done by early November so that we don't engulf 49 million Americans to the inconvenience of the inaction of Congress.
All right, so all said and done, sir, what is the likelihood of some sort of compromise here?
We're going to get a one-year patch. I can't tell you whether we'll do it without pay-fors, which is what the Senate wants to do, and most Republicans in the House, just like we did last year with 414 votes, both Republicans and Democrats. There are only 4 no votes. So my hope is so we're not dealing with any tax increases anywhere. If there are pay-fors, it may be a one-house version in the House, but by the time we get through the Senate, I don't think we'll have any, and we'll just fix AMT for 1 year again.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, going to leave it there, and if you don't mind, we're going to call back on you again in the not-too-distant future to see where this stands.
Mike, look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, sir. It's Congressman Thomas Reynolds from the great upstate area of New York. We'll take a break. By the way, coming up on Money and Politics with Peter Cook, more of our exclusive interview with the House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Charlie Rangel. And as we roll along for you in a couple of moments, you ever spend all those hours stuck on the plane over at JFK Airport here in New York? Could be a solution ahead. Some people don't like it very much. We'll give you the details. And the man who stands tall in New York's football giants, Michael Strahan. We're going to talk to him as well. There's a lot to look forward to. Look out the window. It's beautiful.